If you're a tattoo artist, have you been thinking about opening up your own tattoo studio from home? Or are you someone who is now kind of starting out with tattooing and you're not too keen on the idea of working in a studio? Or just like me, you're a total introvert and you just want to be away from the town centre or from the city centre and away from people. It's really hard when you work with people and you're not a people person because you're an introvert, especially to be around people all the time, especially when you work with people. I find it really hard. I don't know if anyone else struggles, but I've just been diagnosed with ADHD, so that would make sense. And in all honesty, I have struggled a lot over the years with working with other people. I just find that I'm much better in my own company. I don't like getting involved in drama. There is a fuck ton of ego within the tattoo industry. I've worked with a lot of guys who are really irresponsible, really unreliable, and often just completely disrespect my boundaries. So now I am fortunate enough to be in a position where I have just opened my home tattoo studio. And I just wanted to talk about it to give anybody else who is thinking about not just tattooing, but if you're thinking about running a business from home, that it is possible and it is doable. And this has been in the pipeline for me for since I bought this house with my partner. And I already had an outhouse, which is one of the reasons why I bought this place, because I thought this would make a great tattoo studio. And unfortunately, other things got in the way. You have to have work done on your building, and we had to have some damp work done, and we're now getting the bathroom done. So things just kind of kept getting in the way, and I just kept having to sort of work in a studio where I wasn't feeling very happy. I was feeling quite restricted. I was in a really kind of restrictive environment where I just didn't feel comfortable. And then another opportunity came along where I could work somewhere else. It was in a salon. And again, I just didn't really feel very happy being in the town centre. So I finally bit the bullet, and what I did, because all you need really when you are opening a home tattoo studio, obviously you need all your equipment. So I'll show you what I've got here. I've got my tattoo bed. I got this from Quermed, which is in the UK. I was only about £400. I've been through so many tattoo chairs, and this one's pretty good, to be fair. I've had massage tables. I've always had trouble with my back with tattooing, but I've tried a few different tattoo chairs and tattoo stools and tattoo beds, and to be honest, this one's pretty good. And it's not the most expensive of chairs, so I would highly recommend that. And all of your surfaces need to be non-porous and wipeable. So I've got one of these, which is what I use to put all my my machine, the inks, everything. This is what I use for my setup, basically. And the other thing you need, this is the most important thing you need. If you have a room that you could tattoo from, you are going to need a sink. Okay. Whatever your local council is, obviously check with your local council what the rules and regulations are around setting up a home studio. But again, you will definitely need a sink. Now, I bought this one online and it did pass the inspection. It's a portable sink. I think it cost around £400. But to be honest, if I was going to get some plumbing done in this room, it would have cost a lot more. So I just went with the option to get myself a portable sink. And that actually has a water heater available in it. So you put the water heater in the water, because one of the regulations that you have to have is a sink with running hot water. Blah, that was a tongue twister. So yeah, running hot water is something that you will need if you do want to set up your own home tattoo studio. And if you've been tattooing for a while, you know what equipment you need, and whatever applies in the shop or the room that you're using at the minute will also apply for your home studio. So obviously you need to have covers and cling film and stuff to cover all your surfaces that you're going to be using so that it can be disinfected, and all disposable materials as well, unless you use an autoclave. But I just wanted to give anyone hope who has been thinking about setting up a home studio and you just don't you can't get your head around it. I personally wasn't able to get my head around it for quite a long time, and then I finally bit the bullet. All I did was get a sink, and then eventually I just made the move, got all of my stuff from the studio, and I brought it to my home studio. The council came round and hey presto, they signed it all off and it's okay, and I'm now working from here. So, and it is so good to be working from a home studio. I can't even explain how freeing that feels. I've paid rent, when you have a mortgage and when you have rent, you have bills to pay. You also, when you're renting a shop or you're renting a room or you're renting a chair, you also really, that really takes quite a lot of your income for renting, and there are some tattoo studios as well. Like when I first started out, I was paying 50% of what it was that I was earning. And I know that a lot of tattoo artists, operate in this way, and I was training, so I kind of accepted it for what it was. But now I do not have any rent to pay apart from my mortgage and my bills, and I just have. I'll just show you my little room, which is very nice, and there's literally everything that I need is in one place. I mean, you don't need a huge amount of space to do your tattoos from. I have worked from really minuscule rooms before. Yes, it can get quite tight. Yes, it can get quite irritating. But you don't really need a lot of stuff. All you need is yourself, your inks, your bed, your couch and your stool. So yeah, I've been thinking about talking about this for a little while, because this is probably something that would have helped me a while back when I was thinking about opening a home studio and just felt a little bit overwhelmed in my mind about what actions I need to take. And although this is this channel is called Coral Cross Music, but I am also a tattoo artist. And I may do, if this video does well, I may do a few more about tattooing if anybody's interested. I'd like to know in the comments, because I've been thinking about, I have been kind of wanting to take a little bit more of a step back from tattoos, which is another reason why I came into the home studio, because to be honest, tattooing has taken its toll on me physically over the years. I know I've got problems with my joints, I've got a problem with my hip, and I do have sciatica as well, which is pretty constant. So I have been thinking more and more about maybe sort of talking about tattooing and maybe teaching tattooing if anybody wants to know anything about tattooing, any sort of tips and tricks, because I don't know how long exactly I'm going to be tattooing for. I mean, I do still enjoy tattooing, but my body it doesn't really like tattooing as much as I do. And I think no job at the end of the day is worth your health and your well-being. So if there's anything that I can help anyone with, I would be really happy to help out. If you want any more of these videos, I'm just going to put this out there and see how it goes. It's something that I've been thinking about for a while. And if it does well, or if people sort of request any other information, leave a comment and give us a subscribe, and I will have a look and see if there's anything else that you want me to talk about. So yeah, have an awesome day, and keep on needling people.